is going to be a fun day. We're going to be working in the kitchen, and I love having you right here in the kitchen. Now, the fun part is that I'm trying to get ready for the weekend. I have a few people who may be coming by, and I've got some off and on things that just need to be done. So I thought, why not invite you to be able to be right here with me? Now, let's get set up. I've got, I'm going to pull out my cutting board and get it cleaned off because we want to be able, I'm going to kind of work from here. I have better lighting. Sometimes this particular room is funny about lighting. And while it has plenty of light, it's just that sometimes it doesn't always show up as far as camera's concerned. So we're going to take care of that. And so join me, keep the conversation going, and we're going to work on some setting up some no knead bread for tomorrow. And I've got 2 containers ready for that. I've got the yeast out. Let's see, we need the salt, and I've got the salt out. And I'll put that right there, so that will be there. We need flour because that's always important. So let me kind of shift you just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. We've got the flour right here, ready to go. And because we're going to need quite a bit of that. Now, actually, I'm putting together 2 containers for no knead bread. So I've got those sitting here, got the tops ready, they're clean. So typically, this is how it goes with no knead bread. Well, first of all, no knead bread does not require a lot of yeast. And the reason for that is because we're going to give it a long overnight sleep. And in fact, because it's 11-ish today, we're going to have a really nice opportunity for this to sleep tonight, all day today, and tonight and into tomorrow. And I'll bake it tomorrow. So let's get started. Now I'm trying to see if my cup is going to go in there, and of course it's not. So we're going to have to spoon out. Do a little spooning of the flour, that's okay. Because the nice thing about no knead bread is that it's very forgiving. So I'm going to turn you. We're going to be moving, so just be prepared for that, but we're going to be working. We are putting together some no knead bread for the weekend. And I need 2 bowls. And so because of that, I'm going to put together 2 containers for the no knead bread. So that's 1 cup, 2 cups. We're going to put about 3 cups of flour in. That's 2. And let's get 1 more and we'll do 3. Glad to see you all. Good morning. Good morning. We're up and moving this morning. Got a lot going on. We've got family coming in this weekend, so that's 3. And let me go ahead and put, this is 1 container for it to sleep. I've got the 2nd container here, and we're going to get that going. 2. There's 1, 2. Trying to make sure we've got enough in there. That's 1 cup. Remember, we need 3. Now, the wild thing is that I actually slept in this morning. And the reason for that is that I think I was so wired from last night's live show that Mr. Denise and I had such a good time. And we even talked after everybody was off. We hadn't realized how late it was, that we had really talked a long time, but we had a lot to talk about last night because we are trying to get all of us to that point that our relationships are solid and that we have lasting love. All right, we got flour in each of the containers, and I'm gonna see if I can kind of get you tilted. There we go. Get you tilted down so you can see. And I'm going to put in, I've got packets of yeast here. So I only need one. So let me find my scissors. Now we're going to take this, and actually, under normal circumstance, I would only add in about 1/4 of a teaspoon. But I'm going to give this just a little more just because I don't want to waste the yeast that's in here. So I'm going to get this opened. And I'm just using regular flour. Let me look at what we've got here. And for this, I'm actually going to put in about 1/2 teaspoon because I have a feeling I'm probably going to end up making some more this weekend. That's 1/2. I'll probably set up some tomorrow, and that's 1/2. And the big guy likes a little extra yeast, so I don't know what it is. He just likes the smell of that yeast. So anyway, so this will be enough for me to be able to make a 3rd bowl, but I don't have a container right now, so we're going to have to go with what we got. All right, so we've got that done, and I'm going to give all of this a little stir. I think I'll keep that there. We'll give this a good stir. And the reason for stirring at this point is to kind of spread that yeast throughout is because we're going to need to add just a little bit of salt. And I got my flour. Let me set that over here out of our way so I won't have an accident because I'm known for knocking things over. And I've got some salt. And let's put in about, the recipe normally calls for 2 teaspoons of salt. So I'm just going to do a heaping teaspoon of salt and sprinkle that. Okay, so that's in. All right, that takes care of salt. That's a friend calling. She doesn't know I'm on live, but that's okay. And we're going to get this all stirred up. Now we've got everything that we need in the bowl for this to be able to come together. So I'm going to make a well in the center because we need some water. Now my water, I'm going to put it on for a few minutes in the microwave. Let's do that. All right, I'm gonna get that started. Now I'll stop it before we're at the end. But let me see who's here. All right, we got Ella. Hello, Ella. And got Caleb. Caleb O'Neill. How about that? Happy Thursday. We're having a great day, and I hope you are too. Mrs. H, thank you, thank you. I like this kitchen too. It works very well. Christina, good morning. All right, Caleb said he's blessed. All right, I love it. We all are, aren't we? Aren't we? It's just wonderful to know that this is an absolutely fantastic day. Now, in addition to setting up our bread, I have the fixings of some oatmeal cookies. And I'm hoping to get all that done. But if not, when my granddaughter comes, I'm going to let her, what I'm probably going to do is to put it all together, put it into the refrigerator, and then what we'll do is to let her do the baking. So we need about 1.5 cups, and I'm going to have to do this again. That's 1. You check the temperature just in case. Woo, that's a little hot, Let me add some. Add some cold water in. Oh, that's much better. Whew, I'm glad I didn't just dump that. That would have been way too hot. That would have killed our yeast. We don't want that. Okay, so we're good to go. Remember, the temperature needs to be about somewhere between 90 and 110. And actually, to be honest with you, if you have the time, you can just use just regular straight water out of your refrigerator if you have a filter. Now, let's see, I have about another half cup here. Okay, and I'm going to take this that was way too hot, put it in here, and add a little cooler water to it. Because it really, whew, that warmed up quick. Now that's pretty good. I think I'll take it down just a little bit more. All right, that's good. Oh, that's great. Now, so we need a full cup over in the other bowl. All right, so there we go. Now, all right, we've got our bowls ready, both of them. And I'm going to start with this one, and this is all we're going to need to do. We've got our yeast in, we've got our salt in, we have the flour in, and we're going to give all of this a good mix. It's going to be very shaggy. You're going to say, I don't know if that's mixed enough. And if it is not, then you can look at it and tell. Now, if it looks like it's just way too dry, and sometimes the flour that we get from the grocery store is a little dry because it's been on the shelf for a while, you may add just a tiny bit more water to it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I put one of these spoonfuls in, maybe two. Okay, because we want a nice moist dough. Nice and moist. Now I'm actually going to get my hands in here, and those of you who are, my hands are clean, so we're going to give everything just a nice mix. And we're not really kneading, we're just pulling everything together. It's going to be very, very sticky. And I don't know if you can see, but it is just raggedy, very raggedy. So we're just going to put that in there, but it's all together in one ball. And I'm just taking it and kind of going around the sides to make sure I get everything all in the ball. Okay, now what I'm going to do is to cover this for about 30 minutes. And then later on, probably after you all are off the live, I will come back, do a little quick stretch, and then close it for the rest of the night. Now, when I put the top on this, let me get my hands cleaned off. When I put the top on this, I'm going to leave a section open. We're not going to lock it down tight, because what happens is gas is going to build up. And so I'm going to put the top on. I want it secure, but let's see if I can do this and it pops off. I'm going to leave that little lip unlocked. So I'm going to sit this off to the side. That's the first one. And here we're ready for number two. So we're going to give all of this a good stir. You're going to see how it comes together. Now, you might be wondering why after 30 minutes, why do we need to wait 30 minutes before we start to stretch? And the reason for doing that is that, first of all, you want all of that moisture to get through your flour. And second, you want to allow a little bit of time for whatever yeast bubbles may start to form, you want them to work. So, clean hand, we're going in, and we're just going to give everything kind of a zhuzh with our hand. Just kind of taking it, giving it a squeeze, get everything all mixed up. You'll notice that you may have just a tad bit still on the side. Now, it's funny, this one is not quite as dry as the other one was, but I'm going to give it just a little tiny bit, maybe about a good tablespoon more of liquid, because what you don't want is a dry dough. You want your bread to be nice and moist so that when it comes out of that oven, it is going to be so good. All right, so that worked well because I want it to be sticky. All right, this is ready. So I'm going to take this, give one more little flip. There we go. Now, there it is. It's in the bottom. And we're going to put the cover on it in just a moment. But, you know, I want to be able to wash the hands and get all of that pretty nice and clean. I hope you all are having a great Thursday. This is a beautiful day. And the sun is shining. We've had a little bit of rain last night. And it's not excessively hot, but let me tell you, we had some temperatures earlier in the week and last week that would just absolutely wipe you out. And so I am so glad to be able to go outside and enjoy it and not feel like I'm frying, because that's pretty much where we were. We were fried every time we walked out. And in fact, the heat index was 109. And so those of you who may live in a place where it's been extremely hot, you know what I'm talking about. All right, we're going to put our lid on. Going to lock the sides, but leave the front open so it can breathe. It needs to breathe because gases are going to build up in here. We're going to put it in a nice place. I'm going to put it right up here on my counter. And for 30 minutes, I'm going to forget about it. Just forget about it. So we're going to have a chance to, Denise. Is that Denise? I'm bringing you with me so I can see. Oh, Dennis, okay. Your wife makes the best oatmeal cookies. Oh. Now, do you like them with raisins or cranberries? Tell me in the chat, because I like them either way. Now, it just so happens today I'm going to be using cranberries. And the reason for that is because I didn't have any raisins. But I did have cranberries. So we're going to rinse this cup because I'm going to need some hot, very hot. You know that hot water that we had just a few minutes ago? Well, I need some hot water. So I'm going to have to fill this container again. And put it in the microwave. All right, we're going to give that a little time. Now, the oatmeal raisin cookies that I'm going to be making today are not my usual oatmeal raisin cookies. They are not the ones that have all the good, really good stuff in it. I have worked on a recipe that is, I have some people in my family who are gluten-free. And so I'm using some gluten-free products, and I want to be able to make these cookies. I don't want them to feel left out when dessert is served, because we couldn't find a gluten-free recipe. So that's what we're going to work through. So what I've done here is that I put together some of the things that are already pre-measured. Now, that nice hot water, here are the cranberries. We're going to put water on it. Now, if kids weren't going to eat it, I'd probably put some bourbon over it because I think bourbon would give it a great taste. All right, I got some hot water. So we're going to take our hot water. I'm going to pour it over the cranberries because I want them to get nice and moist. Okay, got cranberries there. And I'm just going to kind of make sure they're all down in the water. So while we're working on everything else, we will put these hopefully all the way together. Now, I'm going to start with, and let me see, my written recipe is here somewhere. Let me make sure I've got it because I don't want to leave anything out. These are healthy, what I call healthy oatmeal raisin cookies. All right. I've got gluten-free flour. That's the 1-to-1 flour. And I have measured out, the recipe calls for 1 3/4 cup. So I have in here 3 1/4 cups ready to go. All right. So that's ready. I also have my oats measured out, but I'll put them in a little while. I have my baking powder, which I have in 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, I have cinnamon. I needed 1.5 teaspoons for one recipe. So I have 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. I don't have any nutmeg, so unfortunately, which I kind of like to put just a tad bit of nutmeg in, but I didn't have that. Now, I need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And of course, you could use unsalted plant butter, but that's if you have it. Now, I typically keep coconut oil handy because I use coconut oil for things other than just cooking. I like it for my hair. You can use it for your skin. It just has all kinds of options. Whoop. All right, so I need 2 tablespoons. Let's see, we've got 1 tablespoon. And this has been sitting out, so it's pretty soft. So I've got 1 tablespoon of our coconut oil. Now I want all of that out. And we need the 2nd tablespoon of coconut oil. So let's get that. And we're going to pop that in. Okay. Now I'm going to keep this because I'm going to be putting some honey in. Now, for those, don't get me. I am trying to be as plant-based as possible. And I recognize the fact, I'm just saying this up front, I recognize the fact that honey is really food for the bees. But we're going to be using honey in this recipe as raw, organic. And we're going to add in a cup of honey. So let me find my cup of honey. Let me wash this real quick. This is the cup we used just a second ago. Get it nice and clean. And I'm going to take my spoon and just kind of wipe it out. And I'm going to take some of that coconut oil and put it in around the cup. And the reason for that is that hopefully it's going to get the honey out easily. So I need 1 cup of honey. So let's get that done. You know, it's funny, this honey almost smells like molasses. All right. I may have to melt a little bit of that other because some of it has solidified. Now we're going to get all the honey out. And certainly that coconut oil helped tremendously in bringing that honey out very quickly. So very little of it stuck to the cup. So as you can see, it's pretty clean. All right, we got the honey in there. And like I said, I'm going to put this in the microwave for just a minute because I was short just a little bit. Okay, don't let me forget about that because we do not want to melt the bottle. All right. You know how it is. You get to talking and you're doing things and you just forget. Now, what we have not put in here is some vanilla. And I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons of vanilla. This is one of those recipes. You put it all together, and the last thing you'll add the oats. Whoop, let's go get it. Oh, guys. Stayed in just a little too long, but that's okay. I'm going to give it a minute, and then we're going to get the last little tidbit. It needed just a little bit more honey. Okay, we're going to let that do because that needs to cool off just a tad. All right, we're going to start mixing this just a little bit. Got our vanilla extract. We need 1 egg with this recipe. So we're going to get that out as well. I'm hoping to not need a mixer, but we might. We'll see. All right, we got 1 egg. I'm gonna put a cracker egg. Always crack your egg into a bowl first, just in case. Good thing I did, because I was a little heavy-handed, but there were no shells. Yay! All right. So, here's our egg. I'm going to break it up just a little bit. Give it a little stir here. Normally, I do this with a fork, but we're not dirtying up anything else. All right, so the egg is in. And we're going to mix. So there we go. We got that going. Okay. Now, you know our cranberries have been sitting patiently and plumping up. And what I'm going to do is that I want to keep some of the liquid that is around the cranberry so that should this be just a tad bit too dry, once I put everything in, I can always add a tablespoon or so of liquids, and we'll use the cranberry liquid. Okay, I have 2 3/4 cup of oatmeal, and this is old-fashioned. So I'm not going to add all of it. I'm going to start with a little. Put that in. See how we do. Like I said, this is one I'm adjusting, making substitutions. That's what you do. Make substitutions when you're trying to adapt for different dietary needs. Now I can already see, I can go ahead and add, I think the rest of that. And get a dishcloth to wipe off the hands because I'm a little sticky. And you know, did I do 2 teaspoons? I think I did, but just in case, I'm gonna put just a tad bit more, just in case I didn't account for making 2 batches. All right, there we go. So let's give all of this a good stir. Okay, so for those of you who are just dropping in, we had a chance to set up 2 batches of No Knead bread. Now I'm going to put in these nice plumped up cranberries. I'm using cranberries instead of raisin because I already know that the person who's going to require the gluten-free doesn't like raisins. So we're using the cranberries, and plus 2, I really didn't have any raisins. I had cranberries because, to be honest with you, that's my favorite. And oh, there we go. This looks wonderful. We're not going to need any other liquid. But what we are going to need to do, this is pretty soft, and I think it's because it's just a tad bit warm in the house. So what I'm going to do is to take out some parchment paper. We're going to get this on parchment, and we're going to make our own homemade cookie roll. Refrigerated cookie roll. Let me get the okay, we've got parchment. Okay. And let's flip it over so it'll stay. And what we're going to do is there we go. What we're going to do is that we're going to get this out onto this parchment. It's funny, I'm on vacation and I got people coming to me. How about that? And going to be visiting. That's going to be fun. So, you know, if they come to the kitchen, we got to feed them because that's just how we do. All right, let's put our cookie dough in there. And you know, you do want it just a tad bit moist because remember, we're using old-fashioned oats and they're going to soak up a lot of that moisture. But this is so good for you. All right, so we've got all of that there, and you can see that at this point it spreads pretty easily. Now remember, I used a 1-to-1 flour, so to make it gluten-free, and I had to use very clean oats. I buy Bob's Red Mill oats because they seem to be the best, and they almost guarantee that they're gluten-free. So our oatmeal raisin cookies are in the parchment. I'll give them a little rub, get them into a semi-loaf, and just kind of work with them. Now, there we go. At the ends, I'm going to fold those ends, and we're going to put those together. Now, here's the promise. Later on, we're going to, I'll probably bake a couple for the big guy so that he can taste test it prior to everybody coming. Well, I can tell you this, they taste good. Oh, that's good. All right, so we've got our oatmeal raisin, gluten-free oatmeal raisin cookies in, and I need a bag. Now, I like to sift the rolls in a Ziploc bag if at all possible. Now, this is pretty soft, so I already know we're going to want to do that, and it fit perfectly. How about that? That doesn't always happen, just so you know, it doesn't always happen. But the nice thing is that I can keep it in this bag, and actually because it's going to stay clean, I can reuse the bag. So we've got our roll ready to be refrigerated. We have our 2 containers that need to sleep overnight for No Knead Bread for tomorrow, so that when everybody comes back from the beach tomorrow, they will be ready for a good dinner. Now, it's so funny. I asked my granddaughter, I said, well, what would you like to have for dinner? And she said, oh, Mimi, are you going to let me cook? And I said, well, certainly. So here's the funny thing. She says, well, let me think about it. So she goes to work, and I guess she gets there. She's thinking about it on the way to work. So she gets back, and she said, sends me a text. Don't you love it? Sends me a text that says, Mimi, and in all caps. And she even put in 2 big eyes that were in there. Let's have some honey garlic chicken for one day. And she said, and the next day, let's do a pot roast with lots of potatoes and carrots. And I said, oh, that sounds good, because the pot roast we can put in the crock pot and let that go while we're at the beach. So when we come back from the beach, we can have dinner ready. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So refrigerated cookies rather, are going in so they can get solidified. And the second bowl is here. And you know, we have allowed this to rest for just a few minutes. So what I'm going to do with this one is that remember I told you after 30 minutes, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a little stretch. And at this point, you see it's still pretty raggedy, but we're going to stretch it over on itself. Just kind of give it a stretch. You can tell that even though we put very little yeast in there, it's got stretch. So I'm flipping it over. I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, that's the first 4. Do it again. Stretch it, lay it over on itself, turn it, go to the next side, because it ends up kind of like a rectangle after a while. That's the reason why it has sides. Okay, I'm going to stretch and fold it over, and then one more stretch. So we went around twice around the bread and stretched it. Now, so I can tell a difference in the bread already. And I think part of that is just because the house is pretty warm. So as you can see, this is what it looked like before the stretch. That's what it looked like before the stretch. And this is what it looks like after the stretch. So stretching is good. Now, if I have time, and I'm not even thinking about how much time I'm going to allow it to sit before I do another stretch, I will probably stretch it one more time. So I'm coming over to the one that needs to be stretched, picking it up. Oh yeah, it's still pretty goopy. And pick it up, give it a stretch. Gonna pick it up, give it a stretch. You fold it over on itself. We're gonna pick it up, give it a stretch. The stretching just helps the gluten strands to set up. Now, remember I was talking about that person that's gluten-free? To be honest with you, I'm just going to buy them some Ezekiel bread to use, and they'll be happy with that. They like Ezekiel bread. And so I'll just pick theirs up. But 90%, actually 99% of the people who will be here are just regular bread eaters. So that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing. All right, so there's our stretch. One more time. I'm going to stretch one more time. Give it a good stretch, and it's still kind of pulling apart, and that's okay because it's still early in the game. Now, it's funny that this one is still a little more stringy, so that may be because this one hasn't had as much time to rest. So we're going to let it stay here and put the top back on it, leaving that little lip open, and in another hour or so, we'll give another stretch. But let's come over here and see if I can do it without getting everything all messed up. We're going to kind of get cleaned up. Let's see who's here. I know a lot of you are working at this time. Hello, Dungon. Oh, that's great. Hey, Stephanie. It's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And Stephanie has a channel called Miss Me Stephanie, and does all kinds of fun decorating, and she also has a couple other channels. If you're a YouTube creator and you want great tips, she's got a YouTube tips channel as well. And oh my gosh, she saves my biscuits so many times because she knows so much about computers. And Miss Janice and I we either call her or text her in a minute because she knows things. Or as the lady would say on TV, she knows things. And so because she knows these things, we're able to call her and run things past her to see if we totally messed up or if we need a little more help. So I am so glad to see you here, and glad you could be here with us. We got our bread going. We got the cookies in the refrigerator, and I'll let my granddaughter do the baking when she comes. But at least the hard part is done. And when I prep for them, for the most part, they will come in, and because everything's prepped, they'll put it all together. So I'm working today, and they'll work tomorrow and get it all done. So this has been so much fun, being able to be right here with all of you. And it's so enjoyable because, sometimes in the kitchen, everybody gets busy. And especially during the day when people are either working or in some cases, folks are at school, for those who may be doing a summer session. And so it gets a little lonely. Sometimes the home cook is sitting in the kitchen by themselves trying to get dinner or lunch ready. So we have been fortunate today that we've been able to be here all together. So I am just so glad that you all stopped by and kept me company because it went by very quickly. So I'm putting things away and getting it all cleaned up so that tomorrow when I get ready to put that, the only reason we're not putting the honey garlic chicken, I think what I'm going to do tonight is to put all the chicken in a couple of 2-gallon bags, get it good and seasoned, put the seasonings for the honey garlic chicken in the bag, put it into the refrigerator so that when we get up in the morning, whatever we need, I'm going to put the pot roast together. It'll be ready to go. The only thing that won't be in there with it will be the carrots and the potatoes, but the meat will be in there. And so the good thing about that is that those things that need to go in the crock pot, and I've got the little crock pot over there because they're going to be green beans in there. I've already prepped the greens So I can throw the greens in on the day that we're going to have the greens, and that will be done. So, you can have company and still enjoy the moment, because that's what's important. When people come to visit you, they want you to, they love having you cook. But the thing of it is that they want your attention. They want you to be a part of what's going on. You don't want to be the one that's zapped out over on the couch because you're so exhausted from working. Is that Sue? Hey, Sue. Will I show the finished products? Yes, I will show those finished products in the community tab. So you'll be able to see the cookies and you'll be able to see the bread. So be on the lookout for that. Let me put this back over. And we'll have all of that. And I'll show you the honey garlic chicken. The recipe that I'm going to use is so good. And the fun thing is that my granddaughter, who's 16, she loves to come in and cook. So really, all I have to do is to give her the recipe and she will put it together. We had a big family function for graduation. She made all of the cookie dough. And let's see, we had 4 different kinds of cookies, and she made all of it. All she needed was the recipes. She stood there with that KitchenAid and she worked that baby and got all of those cookies done, got all the cookies into a roll, and she did it about a day or so in advance so that when it was time to cook them, it was just easy to do. Now, her mom's a cake baker, and but she has so many things going on, and amazingly enough, she managed to put a cake together as well. So her hubby, last night we talked about doing things for those that we love, and her hubby loves 7-Up cakes. So she always, I don't care what function it is, if she's going somewhere, that 7-Up cake is going, because her honey is going to have what he likes, and that's what he likes. So that's what she does. So we do what we do to keep our honeys happy, right? So for those of you who are on, if you were with us last night, I have to ask, did you try the 3-minute hug? And for those of you who are going, 3-minute hug, what is that? Then you're going to have to go back and watch last night's live with Life of a Home Cook last night, and find out what that 3-minute hug is all about. Because I'm telling you, that 3-minute hug will change your life. You will find that your lasting love is going to take on a whole new persona. And it's so easy, and it's so much fun. So be sure to check that out. All righty, we are just about done. I just about have everything all cleaned up. We've got our bread and our cookies all together. And next month, this is what we're knocking around. Is that at this point, now for me, I have an adjusted 20-item essential list that I'm going to be sharing with you. And those of you who get my newsletter, you're going to probably get the list first, because in trying to make sure, I'm plant-based at this point, and so most of this that I'm fixing I won't eat, but I'm doing it for family. But I had to adjust my essentials because some of the things that I was buying weren't necessarily plant-based. And so I can get plant butter, I can get the plant versions of cheeses and those kind of things. But the reality of it is that the cleaner we are, the better our bodies respond. And so we have to make a choice. So I'm trying to, I use a little bit of olive oil occasionally. If I'm cooking with it, then I'll use a touch of avocado oil. And because avocado oil can handle a higher temperature. So those have become two of my essential items. And also, as we look at our salts and our peppers, we want to make sure that we get the best that we can get. The baking essentials I keep on the shelf, not so much all the time for me, but certainly for the big guy because he likes his sweets. And I like to be able to provide those things for him. So if you've been watching the last few videos along the way, there's food for me and there's food for him because he has not decided that he's going to eliminate the protein as of this moment. So I'm hoping, I'm still hoping and praying that he will eventually come over to a more plant-based lifestyle, which would just make it so much easier. But there are things that he doesn't like. He likes mushrooms, but only a little bit of mushrooms. Tofu is an absolute no-no. And so I've prepared it all different ways. I have put it into the oven and let it air fry when it gets nice and crispy to kind of fool him into changing the texture because it's really about texture. Because the reality of it is when I did let's see, what did I call? Oh, the lettuce wraps. When I prepared those lettuce wraps, I treated the tofu just like I treated his food, his chicken. And it was delicious. I let him taste a piece of the tofu. And he said, seasoning wise, it's great. He said, but I just can't get used to the texture. And so texture sometimes is everything. So until he's ready for that, then I'll just be patient and I'll take care of him and take care of me. So, oh, Charlene, you're here too. Hello, hello. Yes, we are here live today. And if you're just coming in, we worked on 2 containers of No Knead Bread and put those together because I know I'm going to need 2 per night. So I'm going to, tomorrow, these will be ready and I'll take everything out of those containers, put the bowls together, get them baked, and then set up 2 more so that I will have them for Saturday. And that way I know bread for dinner is already taken care of. We also put together some healthy, gluten-free oatmeal cranberry cookies. I was getting ready to say raisin, but so many people don't like raisins. Even when you plump them, they still don't like raisins. And we plumped those cranberries. They were nice and sweet. We used honey instead of regular sugar. And, that is an option. You could use date sugar. You could use it's a type of cane sugar. It's just pure cane sugar. And I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I know it starts with a D. But there's another type of sugar that you could use. You could use what's called sucrat, S-U-C-A, sucanat. You can use that as well. And those are pretty unprocessed and sweeteners that you have that are out there on the market. So you can decide, and the sucanat is plant-based. You may opt to, like I said, you can use honey. For those of you who aren't die-hard, total plant-based eaters or vegetarian eaters, And that's because of the fact that, for those of you, I had to go look it up. I had forgotten the fact that when I think of bees producing honey, I think, okay, they're producing that honey, but never dawned on me. And I knew this just generally, but just hadn't hit me. Honey is for bees, really. And it's just something that we're able to have benefit of. But honey is the food for bees. And so I those who are true vegans will not touch honey because of that. And so they do not want to take away the food from the bees. And so we just have to work through that. So you have to kind of find where you are in your dietary needs and what's going to go on. So, guys, this has been so much fun. Now, like I said, tune in. I probably won't put the bread and the cookies up on the community tab. I'll put the cookies up today, some of the cookies today, because I'll bake a few for the big guy for tonight. And for those who are coming in tonight, they'll have cookies. And so I'll get those baked. I'll get a shot of those because I'm curious to see. I have not made cookies with 1-to-1 flour. And so I'm going to be interested to see how they turn out and what the good consistency is going to be. It's my understanding that there really should be no change whatsoever. So we'll see. But now the bread itself that we're making, the No Knead, it's just regular bread. So you'll see those pictures once they're baked. And I hope you'll enjoy them. And I'll put the recipe down in the description box as soon as we get off. And they'll also be in the next newsletter. So be on the look for that. Let's see, Hazel's dropped in. She says she's on her break. Yay! Oh, how sweet. Agave. Yes, I forgot all about agave. And I like agave in coffee. And that's something that we have used, but I just don't have any at this present time. But I do like agave. You are absolutely right. Thank you, Hazel, for reminding me of that. And Hazel, can you, there is a sugar it starts with a D, that's going to drive me crazy. So guys, I will get the name of that other sugar. I'm going to put it into the post once I put the post up, and we'll be ready to go. So have a wonderful day. I don't know if you can tell, but it is sunshiny. It is absolutely beautiful outside. We had a little bit of rain, and the clouds are slowly but surely clearing, and it's going to be gorgeous today. I'm going to enjoy today because it's going to be under 90. Yay! And I'm going to get outside, but I know when I get ready to go to the beach tomorrow with the kids, it's going to be hot. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon right here. Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. Enjoy. God bless you.